to the 9th episode of Friends in Fantasyland, a Disney podcast.
My name is Steve, and I recently found out that there exists final pop figures of the main character and the villain of Black Cauldron, and that makes me really happy because Disney doesn't forget about it.
My name is Bill, and my favorite smell is burning Rome.
Amen. What a good
smell.
What a good smell. Do you still have the candle of it?
I do. Well, not of burning Rome. I have the pirate water smell at my desk.
Right,
nice.
okay.
That's a good one, too.
I have the burning Rome one in my essential oil diffuser.
Ooh.
We should really be running that while we do the Disney podcast.
Wait, who are the rest of you people?
It's 9 episodes. You don't know by now?
My name is Matt, and my favorite part of Hollywood Studios is where the Swedish chef uses a shotgun in Muppet Vision.
It's a cannon.
It's a cannon.
Is it a cannon?
Yes.
It's a straight up cannon.
That's right, that's even better.
I don't think Disney would use a shotgun, but then again, they used a cannon, so who knows. And my name is Jenny, and did you know that Doritos were invented at Disneyland?
Were they
What?
Really?
Yes.
No way.
We have a bag of Doritos.
Yeah, we do, in front of us.
That's what
Trademark.
made me remember it.
May I do a crunch in the mic?
In
Celebrate?
honor of Doritos.
Just one crunch.
All right.
That's it. Now spit it
So
out.
So many people are going to hate that.
It's
And-
ASMR, Steve.
And there
A
goes
lot
our
of-
subscriber count.
A lot of people hate crunching into mics.
And there goes our subscriber count.
You can almost hear it falling.
I don't know what sounds worse, the chip or the fall.
Unfortunately, Brandon couldn't join us this week.
Yeah, he's got other things he's got to take care of, but he'll be back with us next week, hopefully.
For the 10th episode special. Look forward to that. We have something really fun planned for that.
Oh, I'm
It's
so
going to be
excited for
10
that.
hours long.
No.
Wow.
Straight
It will
talking.
not. But it will be a lot of fun.
What a
Yes,
time.
it's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
But enough about next week. Let's talk about this week's topic.
Mhm.
We're going to be discussing our opinions on some of the live action remakes.
Yes.
And why they're bad.
Well,
Well,
it depends on the movie.
We got
Mine
some
is
movies.
Yes, was mine.
So, mine's positive. Matt, I'm pretty sure yours is positive.
Very
We should do
positive.
like a positive, negative, positive,
Yeah,
negative.
that
thing.
works. Okay, so,
Sure.
all right, let's go Jenny, Matt, Bill, me, so then I can go last and just go off hinge.
And then
You
what
may
I'm-
have to do some censoring like Wreck-It Ralph.
What
We'll
I'm
see.
gonna do is just as you're talking, just fade out the audio.
And I just talk for the rest of the episode, and it fades out.
Yeah,
So, I'm up first.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Jenny.
All right.
if you want.
Starting off on a high note, I'm going to be talking about the new Aladdin movie that just came out earlier this year in 2019. I believe it was a May release when I looked it up earlier.
You may be right.
Nice.
It begins.
I think so.
I think it was a May release.
Sorry, Dad.
Welcome back.
But yes, so Aladdin was very dangerous territory to me. Aladdin is my favorite Disney movie ever. The classic animated one, obviously. So when I heard about the live action remake, I got very, very nervous. Especially after seeing some of the previous live actions. I was nervous.
And especially when they showed off Genie.
Yes, the first teaser trailer for Genie was a little rough.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was a lot to take in at once.
It was bad CGI.
But
There's no dancing around it.
I did hear that Will Smith did none of the motion capture. They purely CGI'd and created this genie in the computer programs.
Which I honestly
Really?
think, this is me personally, I honestly think that wasn't the best decision, because if they did the motion capture, at least on Will Smith's face, it would have looked a lot better.
It's not. I think that the face looked exactly like Will Smith. I think
No,
the
it did.
blending looked weird. That it
Yeah.
it almost.
Which is weird that they even blended it to begin with, because it wasn't motion capture.
yeah, there was no need to blend, so it was just a bad model. But I think that they definitely fixed it for the movie because it looked
That's
a lot
good.
better
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it was like an early trailer too.
Yeah,
it was the first one, I think.
let's
The
talk.
first one that wasn't a teaser.
Yes, kind of familiar to the Sonic trailer, but we're not going to talk about that. That's not Disney.
Jenny,
Wow.
you dare mention the word Sonic in the presence of Steve? Look at the restraint this man is holding right now.
All right.
But
I'm
we're
say
gonna
one thing. The new design is good. That's all I'm gonna say.
There you go.
The new design looks good.
But we're getting back on topic to Disney now. So I have a couple points I'll touch upon. So the first one is the casting. The first bullet point that I have written down, I think it's very important to note, Will Smith is not Robin Williams. Like,
Yeah.
that
No.
just is obvious. Whenever I talk to someone about this movie, they're like, well, Will Smith is not Robin Williams' performance. I'm like, he's not supposed to
Yeah,
be.
he's doing his own thing.
He's his own
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
I would also like to point out real quick, unlike the rest of the movies on this list, I haven't seen this one.
Oh, you haven't yet?
I still haven't seen Aladdin.
Didn't you come with us at the
No.
theater?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Aladdin is the only movie on this list that I still haven't seen, and it's the only one, aside from probably Matt's, that I would be willing to see.
Honestly, it was really good.
Because I've seen
Matt's
and I want to
Jenny's
see it
gonna talk
again,
about
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. You know, the whole. I think what really made the genie, well, one of the genie's big sticks in the original '92 movie was all of his celebrity impersonations.
Mhm.
That was huge and iconic. But
Iconic.
49 left to go, Jenny.
and most of that was just Robin Williams being Robin Williams, and they
Oh,
just
yeah.
animated around it.
the original fun fact: the original Aladdin '92 movie was nominated to win Best Script, but they couldn't give it to Best Script to Aladdin because it technically wasn't the script. It was mostly Robin Williams
Improv.
Yeah, 90,
Oh.
Yes.
almost. I believe like 90% of the genie's dialogue in that movie is improv.
Oh, definitely.
way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
definitely.
You put Robin Williams in front of a mic, you tell him to go off, and you get 3 hours of raw recording. I'm not joking. There's actually 3 hours of raw genie recording.
That's awesome. 3 hours of raw genie recording.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like online too. Some of it's so funny. Like it's really funny.
So obviously, not Robin Williams, Will Smith can't really. I don't want to say compete, but that's not Will Smith's thing. His is a different type of humor, which he successfully brought to the role. 110%. It was his own character. Even I'm gonna touch upon the music later. You could definitely tell Will Smith brought his own like flavor to the role, even throughout the music and his humor, his personality of the genie. It's his own character. It's the same character, but it's his own take on the character.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out that I was just happy to see Will Smith be goofy Will Smith again, because so many of his recent movies he was like always so serious and they were like action dramas and
Yeah.
stuff.
That's true too.
And I wanted more of that like Fresh Prince Will Smith, which I feel like, at least from what I've seen in
Oh,
the trailers,
definitely in
this
this
movie
movie.
really
Absolutely.
gave.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But moving away from Will Smith, my next note here is that Naomi Scott absolutely killed it as Jasmine.
Oh, she nails the role.
I think she was the strongest point of the whole movie. She truly captured the character the best. She knew what Jasmine stood for in this movie. I think Naomi Scott absolutely stole the show as Jasmine, from her singing to her acting. They went a different direction, a little bit of a different direction with Jasmine in this movie. They made her much more gung-ho on what she wanted. She knows what she wants and she's gonna get it, determined.
Okay.
And she totally captured the right essence for it. And I think that she definitely wins for best actress in this movie for me. Aladdin was good. I forgot his name. His name's Mina, I believe.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Very talented. His singing was a little off for me, especially in One Jump Ahead, but I'll get on that later. I thought he did pretty good. It's hard to compare to the original, but I think he made it his own again, and I thought he held up pretty good. I will say the weakest easily was Jafar.
Yeah.
I forgot who I was talking to, but someone described Jafar as just the guy they found on the street and was like, "Hey, you want to be Jafar?"
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job. Don't get me wrong. Disney's not gonna hire some schmuck off the street.
Well, yeah, obviously, but like,
You know, he looked kind of scary, I guess. But then I heard his voice, and it was way higher than Jonathan Freeman's, and not like crazy like Jonathan Freeman's.
And keep in mind, Jonathan Freeman has been Jafar in everything.
He's still playing.
He's still playing him on Broadway.
yeah,
right?
5 years later, he's
Yeah.
still
Really?
playing him on Broadway.
He loves the character,
the
and he'll always come back to voice him.
the way I saw it with Jafar, it was what Jonathan Freeman gave in a vocal performance. This actor in the live action remake gave it in physical performance. Like he had a threatening aura around him, you know, his just presence.
Definitely.
alone.
Especially when he turned into like the evil dude at the end.
Yeah, but the voice, you know, I do agree that they could have had someone with a more deeper tone.
Like a more sinister voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they went with a higher voice, if it was to try to like show that he really was trying to, try to trick you into he was the good guy in the beginning. But it
But,
just
like,
it didn't
It's
work.
Jafar. We kind of know his whole deal.
Yeah, it didn't really work for me.
Mhm.
But moving on to the music, my first note, that new song they added for Jasmine, Speechless, fantastic.
I love that song.
Oh, it's
It
so
left me
good.
speechless.
Have not heard it.
Really?
It's very
Again,
pretty.
aside from the trailers, I've seen nothing of this movie.
Well, Jasmine's my favorite princess. And I just thought they always did her a little dirty because they never gave her a full solo song.
Hmm.
They
Wait, didn't she have one?
well, in the original movie.
I thought she had.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
And Broadway she does. And even the one on Broadway, it's good, don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
then she's just talking in that scene. I'm thinking of the scene where she's alone with Raja and like the.
Yeah, just talking.
Wow, why did I always think there was a song?
She
there?
only sings in A Whole New World.
Huh.
Which is very upsetting.
Nope.
Thanks, man.
No problem, Steve.
And the songs they gave her for Broadway are good. Don't get me wrong. And Courtney Reed, who played her originally on Broadway, destroyed them because she's fantastic and I love her as well. But Speechless is everything Jasmine's character stands for and so much more.
Mm.
Especially because in this movie,
When does she sing it?
it's technically in 2 parts.
Oh, okay.
She
Yeah.
sings it.
So it's like a reprise later on.
I think
No, it's part 1 and part 2 on the album.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's 3. Like they do 2 small parts and then a full song later. I think.
No,
Oh, let
I
me-
only remember 1 and 2. The first one is kind of in the very beginning when it's Jafar and the Sultan talking in the very beginning, and Jafar pretty much tells Jasmine to go away. You're not really important here in this meeting. And she sings that she won't be silent. She deserves to be there to help her people.
Right.
And she wants to be useful and wants to be empowered to help. And then the second part is later, right when Jafar takes over and he orders the guards to take the old Sultan
Yes.
and Jasmine prisoner.
Hmm.
And it's like this really cool scene where it's, I think it was like
time stops. Or
yeah,
something?
time
Oh,
stops.
that's neat.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh, that's
kind of
cool.
like slow motion. And it was really funny. I rewatched the scene today to like get ready for this. It's really funny watching it now after Endgame. All the guards disappear into dust. I'm like, Jasmine, hold a Thanos.
That's funny.
But
Janos.
it's
Oh, Whoa.
but it's her
All right, all you artists out there, I want fan art of Janos stat.
but it's her running back up to Jafar and saying, "You will not silence me. I will not be speechless."
That's awesome. I like that.
And it's just incredible to finally, not only did she get a solo song, she got such an empowering song.
And Naomi Scott's such a good singer.
Oh,
Mm,
so talented. That's I was jumping to, and A Whole New World is next. I love the rendition of A Whole New World. It sounds, I'm surrounded by music people, so hopefully you guys can help me on the
Mhm.
terms here. It just sounds fuller.
It's more orchestral and there's more harmonies in it.
I haven't heard the full thing, but I have heard like the bit they show in the trailer, and it was always funny to me. The way Aladdin says "Don't you dare close your eyes" sounds significantly angrier in this version.
Yeah.
Don't you dare close your eyes. I just found that to be really funny.
They definitely took like artistic liberties with the singing. Like it's not a 1-for-1 recreation. It's like
Right.
the singing is ever so slightly different. Though I don't know. I kind of feel like I like the original better just for like how they phrase the words because that's what we grew up.
Oh,
with.
Yeah, of
I
course.
still way prefer the original
Mhm.
everything to the remake, but I walked in being very skeptical of this movie, and I came out thoroughly enjoying it, and I think one of my favorite parts was A Whole New World.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the segment was really pretty. I personally like the remake's version of A Whole New World more, just because, like you said, Jenny, it's fuller. I said it's more orchestral, and I really enjoy the harmonies that they gave the two of them together.
If you think about it, it's basically a whole new world of a song.
Yes, Bill, you were right.
Oh, okay.
I'll be here all week.
I get that.
Well, actually, for the next about 40 minutes.
I mean, you're gonna be here. This is where
We're
you
gonna
live.
in your house. You're gonna be here for the next however long you live here.
minutes.
You get kicked out tonight.
He dies.
So my next note was the rendition of "Friend Like Me." It definitely had Will Smith's take on it. It sounded more like hip hoppy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember watching an interview where they pulled him into the studio and they pretty much talked to each other about how they wanted to make it Will Smith's. And I remember he talked about it, he laid some old hip hop and like tracks down underneath the original "Friend Like Me."
Oh,
and
that's cool.
He just said like that's it. That's my sound. Then he went in and recorded it. I think they said it only took him like a day to do it. And I was like, wow, like
that's awesome.
probably the most second iconic song out of that movie, and he did it in a day.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
That's
I've
impressive.
only heard one song from this movie, but now I want to listen to the whole soundtrack.
Yeah,
honestly.
You need to see the movies.
Yeah, that too. That too. I need to
It's-
see the movie.
Yeah, it's really cool that they were able to let him go in and give his own twist to it.
I think that was so important because I don't think he'd be able to connect to it if it was just like whoever it is, the music people handed him this track and said, here, sing this.
Yeah.
I don't think Will Smith as an artist would
But-
be able to connect to it.
Especially because Will Smith has a whole bunch of raps under his belt and like albums and stuff. And
Yeah,
like,
he's
Uh,
musically like
yeah.
inclined and
the
everything.
Fresh Prince.
the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Or that one Freddy Krueger song that he has.
Nightmare on My Street.
Yeah.
yeah, that one. You've never heard that?
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't.
He has a Nightmare on Elm Street song.
I'm not well versed in the Prince.
The Prince.
I will
It's like we're talking about Prince now, rather than Will Smith.
I will say there were a couple lyric changes in Friend Like Me that caught me off guard. I don't know why this bothers me so much, but whenever I listen to it, it really stands out to me. In the original movie, Aladdin introduces himself to Genie as Aladdin. They make the whole joke, can I call you Al? Can I call you Din? Or maybe just Laddie. In the remake, they don't do that. He jumps right into Friend Like Me. So when he's singing, he's like, Mr. Aladdin, sir. Here it's, hey, Mr. Man, what's your name? Like, it's, I don't know, it just catches me really
It's a little
off guard.
awkward.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and
I
then
get that.
finally in the last one, the last time,
Verse.
verse he does it. He just goes, Mr. and Aladdin says Aladdin. He goes, man, that's it. Like, it just,
Okay.
It's very Will Smith.
yeah, it's very Will Smith, but it
That's true.
catches me off guard. And I think it's almost too Will Smith that I'm kind of like, oh yeah, that's Will Smith, not the Genie.
Okay. I get it. It kind of breaks the immersion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it almost is too much like him, which is
Gotcha.
totally contradictory to what I've just been saying. But it kind of just pulls you out of it for a second. But other than that, I like thoroughly enjoy that scene. Just the scene itself is really fun too. It's like a fun dance number where
I've heard good
the
things about
genie's
this
like
one, yeah.
dancing with him. Like they both can dance. That's
They can
Yeah.
dance if they want to.
they can, yeah. But they surely want to because they really can dance in
Nice.
that scene.
Nice.
What's my next?
You're going to talk about that other lyric change that we do like.
You like it? I hate it.
You hate it? You're the one that keeps laughing at it. I
Yeah,
thought you enjoyed it.
ironically.
Oh,
And
I think
Prince,
it's funny.
And Prince Ali.
This is the one song I've heard. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I really don't like this version. It's way too slow.
I like
it's
it.
really boring. I hate it. I really do.
They change a bunch of lyrics for no reason, like brush up your Friday salam. I mean, I'm not well versed in the religion or anything, but I'm pretty sure Sunday is a religious day for them, so I don't know why you're changing that. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm being incorrect here, and I apologize if I'm, being incorrect on someone's religion, but I'm pretty sure Sunday is like important for the lyrics, but
Probably.
whatever. Yeah, and then Will Smith goes, or the genie, whatever, goes, heard your princess was hot, where is she?
What?
And the Sultan's all like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a hot daughter.
Yeah.
Oh boy. That's awkward.
No thank you.
Yeah.
That's a hard pass from me on that one. I laugh at it just because it's so bad and so cringy. Like,
Yeah.
how could you, why would you put that in a movie?
In a Disney movie.
Yeah. Heard your princess was hot. Like, he literally,
Oh yeah, he emphasizes
Yeah.
hot.
heard your princess was hot. Where is she? And I'm like,
It's like he's trying to do the new YouTube rewind.
yeah, I'm like,
Oh, that's hot.
that's hot.
He was in that.
Yeah,
that's
he
the
was
joke.
the joke.
Oh,
But I'm like, who would approve that?
I really.
Oh, and the other one,
Considering that that's one of my favorite songs in the movie. Wow, they really butchered it.
and then he goes, boy genuflect. I'm like, why are you boying the Sultan?
Or genuflect.
Like,
Um,
I know you're an
Don't
all-powerful
do the hand gesture.
genie, but no one knows that, so you have to show some respect to the Sultan when you're
Yeah.
trying to get when you're trying to get Aladdin hooked up with the hot princess.
I know you said like you think they slowed it down, right?
They
Steve?
did.
Well,
lot.
yeah, they did, but I think that's another one that they went in and let Will Smith do like a beat over for.
That's fine, but I think for a song that energetic, it's a parade. You need an energetic song for that. I feel here it's way too slow. Also, the parade itself is just kind of a straight line. Like they just kind of walk.
That's all parades,
Well,
though.
yeah, But what I mean by that is everyone's just kind of walking in a straight line. While in the original, Genie was like zipping all over the place, hanging out with the people, singing along.
Oh, they tried doing
He
that in the
does
green
that.
screen where he bounces in between windows, and it looked really bad.
No.
Someone must have let the intern edit that one because it was really
Oh
bad.
boy.
Ooh.
What I do really like is the scene right after the parade where Aladdin and the genie meet the Sultan. And
Yes,
the
that was a
princess.
fun
yeah, that's
scene.
really funny.
They brought the
Aladdin, stop
lion out.
talking. Aladdin, stop talking.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
So
That's
awkward.
funny.
That's a really fun scene. They added in so many good fun scenes.
The dancing scene too.
Yes.
The big dance.
That's
scene.
another thing. In this movie, okay, I'm just gonna keep bragging about Jasmine because I love her. They made her a no-nonsense kind of girl. Like, they made it very clear that Jasmine could, well, I don't know if it's like, they made it very clear that Jasmine could tell something was up when Prince Ali was trying to be Prince Ali, but when it was just Aladdin just in Prince Ali's clothes, she connected with him. It's a lot of, like,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like when they were just talking about wanting to go travel, she was totally in for it. But as soon as he started showing off with all these fancy dance moves that the genie was controlling him to do,
Yeah, that's it.
she bounced right out. She was like,
Mhm.
no, not interested.
Mm.
They really, I forgot where our original topic was on this, but the dance scene was a lot of fun. I think that was the topic.
And I love how Will Smith got with that one person.
Yes, I have
during the
that.
dance scene.
Yeah, I have that in my notes. I just love that the character they introduced. I forgot her name. Dahlia.
Ah.
She's a lot of fun. I'm going to go try on all of my dresses because I have one for every hour. When Dahlia, because they changed it in the movie that we already see Jasmine escaped out of the palace.
Right, yeah.
So Aladdin and Jasmine meet on the street, and Jasmine introduces herself as the princess's handmaiden, Dahlia. So they switch roles when Aladdin comes to see her in the palace. And so Dahlia's like, yes, I'm the princess. I'm going to go try on every one of my gowns because I have one for every hour of the day. And you can just tell Jasmine's like, wow, I'm attacked.
That's really funny.
But yeah, and eventually, spoiler alert, Dahlia and Genie end up together.
Oh, nice.
They're
Wait,
cute.
hold up a second. Why would they switch roles if Aladdin came, but they don't know it's Aladdin? It's Prince Ali.
No, he
Right?
snuck into the palace before he was Prince Ali.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, he snuck in to return Jasmine's mother's bracelet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't do that in the original.
No.
No.
So I like that. I like
Okay,
the addition.
cool.
Wait, so in the original, Aladdin just stole the bracelet and
There was no
There's no
bracelet.
Because
Oh, okay.
he didn't meet Jasmine until he was already at the palace.
Gotcha.
No.
That's not true.
No?
In
Not
the
true
marketplace.
whatsoever.
I've seen Aladdin once.
They meet in the marketplace.
That's how they like fall in love.
That's when they first meet each other.
Oh, you're right.
And where she almost gets her hand cut off.
Yeah.
My hand.
I can't be seen with
But
Oh,
yeah.
my hand!
In this movie, they touch a lot more upon Jasmine's mother. So the bracelet's very important. So Aladdin like snatches the bracelet,
What is it?
and
Sorry, what is it with Disney remakes and touching upon the mother? They did it in this. They did it in Beauty and the Beast.
well, because
Yeah.
they don't have any in the original.
Do I have some
Oh,
words
yeah.
to say
Yeah.
about that movie?
We'll get there. in
I'm
a bit.
almost done with this one. I promise. I just really like talking about this movie because I think they did it really well. But
I've heard pretty much everyone say it's the best of the live action remakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, my overall thoughts is I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, I love Jasmine, what they did with her in this movie. Giving the genie a love interest, it really grew on me. At first I was a little like, but it really grew on me because it really like humanized him and showed that he has human wants. Like he's more than just a great cosmic being.
Of course he has human wants. He wants freedom.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it's just another layer. It shows he
Okay.
has more human emotions. It shows he has more human emotions despite being this all-powerful cosmic genie. Because people...
Itty bitty living space.
Itty-bitty living space.
Gives you such a crick in the neck.
But, yeah, so I think, Bill, you were going to be up next, right?
Off topic. Am I the only one that thinks about the scene in The Incredibles where Mr. Freeze drinks the water?
Mr. Freeze
What's
is a
his
Batman
name?
villain.
That's Frozone, you twit!
Frozen! Where he drinks the glass of water as like the cop is pointing a gun at him.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I drink
thirsty.
a glass of water,
I just want a drink. Mr. Freeze.
there, you've had your drink.
You
Now
sure it's not Captain Cold? That's a Flash villain, by the way.
Senator Ice Cube.
Iceman. Alright.
Oh my god.
General Freezer.
Can't be insulting this.
But,
Yeah, the new Batman villain, Frozone.
So
So,
been
Bill,
a-
what's your movie?
It's been a while since I've seen that one.
we're gonna jump to Bill now for his live action movie.
Yeah, of which is not good.
I agree.
If you've heard the rumors, The Beauty and the Beast is a movie plagued by unnecessary scenes, time padding, and crappy autotune. Do you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Emma Watson cannot sing.
There was only one character that needed autotune, but they made her the main character.
Or better yet, instead of autotune, get a better singer to dub her.
Well,
Just cast someone who can
You
sing.
didn't,
Yeah.
you didn't need.
You didn't need
Yeah,
a big
why,
name.
Yeah.
Why did they cast Emma Watson?
They didn't need a big name. Beauty and
Because
the Beast
she's
was gonna.
pretty and she'd bring in the viewers.
But you can get an equally pretty actor that can actually sing.
Yeah, I agree.
And that can actually do a French accent, which, by the way, only 2 characters in this movie did. In a French countryside, mind you.
Only one character in the original had one.
Well, still, I'm saying, like,
Who was the second one? I mean, I know Lumiere, obviously.
Lumiere,
but
and
yeah.
LeFou.
Oh yeah,
Josh Gad did not do a French accent.
He kind of
Josh
did.
Gad?
He did not do a French accent.
He
No
tr-
way.
He tried.
During
He
Gaston,
probably like slipped in and out of it.
during
but no
Gaston,
way.
he has one when he sings.
I
Not-
think that's
not
just
really.
his style of singing.
Yeah, that's
though.
just how he
Is
sings.
it?
Yeah.
I don't
He's
know,
just
might
an
be.
over-accentuated person.
Yeah.
Josh Gad, if you're watching this, can you confirm whether you did a
If
French
Josh
accent
Gad
or
is
not?
watching this,
I love
we
you.
made it.
I love you.
What a bro!
Josh Gad, I love you.
Loved you in Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah, he was really good in that.
Loved you in Book of Mormon.
That's right, he was in that.
No, but seriously, like, I don't mean to, like, criticize every Disney movie, but every Disney movie has the same cordial British accent for every prince and princess and every character in the movie.
No,
No.
not at all.
What
Like,
princess has an accent besides Merida?
yeah, well, that one. I mean,
Emma Watson did in this movie.
Well, because she's
Well,
English.
But we just said she didn't have the accent.
Well,
No,
no,
she
but she
doesn't
had
have
a
a
British
French.
accent because
Oh.
She has a British accent. But she
Yeah.
lives in France.
And it's in France.
Well, even in the original movie, Cogsworth had a British accent.
Yeah,
And he
That's
was in
true.
that's
France.
true.
Which is weird because he's voiced by an American.
Did he have
Yeah,
one in the live action? No.
No, because it was
That was Ian
it was
McKellen.
Ian McKellen.
Which, by the way,
It
this
was British.
movie, as like
I think.
mediocre as it was, I
Oh.
Is Ian McKellen British? I don't know.
he might be actually.
Sorry,
I
what were you
honestly
saying,
don't
Matt?
remember.
As like mediocre as Beauty and the Beast 2016 was. It was 2016, right?
I
No,
believe
2017.
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
As mediocre as it was, it did have a really good cast.
Oh yeah.
Besides Emma
Aside
Watson.
from
Yeah, yeah.
Emma Watson, who is a great actress normally, but shouldn't have been Belle.
I
yeah.
agree.
I think my favorite characters in the whole movie are the quote-unquote inanimate guys. The Lumiere,
Yeah. I was
Cogsworth.
genuinely impressed with Ewan McGregor as Lumiere. Like he did a
Yeah,
really
he
good
was
job.
good.
I love Ewan McGregor in general.
I'm gonna defend Gaston and LeFou.
They
until
were
the
so
day I
good.
die.
Oh, they were good too.
They were very good.
They
They,
were.
they were the best part of the movie.
I agree. Josh Gad nailed it, and I forget the other guy.
Luke Evans.
Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, I know a lot of the
I
stuff that he's
watched
done, but I
so-
just blanked on his name for a bit. He
I
was
watched
fantastic.
Every interview they were in together, and the chemistry they have off screen translated so
Mhm.
well to on screen. It
Yeah.
was, I mean, on their own, I don't know if they held up so well, but together they just
Yeah, definitely.
nailed it.
Yeah, it's the chemistry.
What are some of your other points, Bill?
Well, speaking of the CG, specifically on Lumiere, I wanted to point out I love the CG on Lumiere. The CG on like all Lumiere and Cogsworth and
Mhm.
Chip and everyone else.
They're, like,
Mrs. Potts.
Ornate designs are so intricate and
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah,
A
they're
lot
really
of detail
pretty.
went into them.
Yeah, I love like the CG on Mrs. Potts's face, like how the paint
Like-
paint on the pottery.
Yeah, I thought that was a
moves.
really cool thing.
The CG on one character though, the most important character in the Beast,
Yeah,
is so bad.
it's
Yeah.
not great. It's not the worst.
Jenny,
It's
you
like it's
seem
not the worst
you
thing ever,
seem
but-
kind of indifferent.
Not totally against it.
Yeah.
I just wasn't thrilled on the overall design.
I know
That too.
Everyone was saying he looked like a buffalo.
He does.
Yeah,
Okay, I never heard that before, but I kind of agree.
yeah.
Did you know that buffalo?
Interesting fact.
Thanks, Bill.
Counter fact.
Wait,
Buffalo, buffalo, buffalo.
Does that make you Buffalo Bill?
Buffalo.
I am so confused. What is happening right now?
So, okay, off topic. Buffalo is a complete sentence, which means buffalo, the animal from the city of Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, which means to
strike fear into.
Yeah, Buffalo from the city of Buffalo. So Buffalo from the city of Buffalo, strike fear into Buffalo from the city of Buffalo. And now,
holy crap, that's really cool.
now the word buffalo lost all its meaning for me.
And
I
think there's another one, which is actually Will Smith.
Oh yeah.
And now back to our regularly scheduled Disney podcast.
This time on Beauty and the Beast in Fantasyland, starring Bill.
Beauty and the Beast in Fantasyland?
You have Enchanted Tales with Belle and
oh, that's true.
Oh, you be our guest.
Oh yeah, be our
guest. Oh,
guest.
so good.
Speaking of be our guest, that scene was amazing in the remake. That was a really cool scene. I really enjoyed it.
It was good.
I liked it a lot.
It was more definitely like showy and like kind of
it was cool.
Got a big band and
I really liked the
It's just visually pleasing, honestly.
The
song itself, I like the original better, but
my favorite part of this version though is really small, but they finally fixed the 10 years we've been rusting. Now it's too long we've been rusting because everyone's like 10 years doesn't add up.
Oh yeah, it's not 10 years.
It will in the original they sing 10 years.
But it's not.
Speaking of time that doesn't add up, there's a couple like sequences in this movie where time just doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Please go on.
So okay, so remember how Maurice, Belle's dad,
Correct.
first goes to find the abandoned castle in the woods. It took him a half a day to get there to like go all through the woods and everything. And then when he's like finding it for the second time, it takes him like 5 minutes.
That's probably just
bad.
Yeah, it's bad pacing. Honestly.
It's bad time skipping.
Yeah. Like
which kind of falls on the editor.
Yeah.
And then the second time when the town gets all riled up after like Maurice comes back and like they're jailing him and everything.
That's right.
And they're literally like there in the next verse.
And no one knows where it is.
Yeah.
They just find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in the original, they just kind of show up.
But at least
that doesn't make sense though.
Didn't
they
make
sense in the original either.
Did they have the mirror in both versions? I know for a fact in the classic they had
the
the mirror.
they do.
In
but
the remake they do.
He said show me the beast. It didn't necessarily show where he is. He just knows what he looks like.
Yeah.
There's one of the versions that said show me where the castle is. But I could be wrong.
I don't think so.
But
I just watched Beauty and the Beast last night. What the
they know that the beast is in a castle because Maurice comes in screaming
raving like a lunatic.
He was in here last night, raving.
So yeah, that I can understand, but still they wouldn't know the exact location of the castle.
Yeah.
Going back to another point, one of the first things I said, unnecessary scenes and time padding, is a big feature of this movie for me. It's like the amount of like exposition and background that the live action remake has compared to the original is just astounding.
Are we gonna talk about the mom scene?
Yes, we are going to talk about the mom scene.
Yes!
She's dead.
She dead.
It took me at least 4 rewatches to figure out that they're not traveling back in time. They're just traveling to France, and then Belle is having
a flashback,
PTSD flashbacks of when she was 3 days old.
Except the Beast sees it too.
Except
I don't know what that's all about.
Here, let me summarize. Let me summarize the mom scene for you. Belle's mom is dead. She is sad. That's it. Like, there's literally no other point to that scene.
It explains how she dies, but like...
Yeah, but that's not a question anyone ever asked.
I did. Well, like... And then you had to do it in such a weird way. Not only do you world travel in an instant, you teleport.
Through a book.
Now you're gonna throw in, like, time travel / flashback / something that...
And not even, like, differentiate between the two.
Yeah. It's just a bad scene. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really bad scene.
Totally. It, like, you just knew they threw it in there to get the movie extended by 15 minutes.
Oh, totally.
Like,
Speaking of which, like, the introduction of the movie, literally, like, 25 minutes of just, like, introduction in the village with unnecessary songs.
I mean, Belle is, like, a 5-minute long song, but I do remember it dragging out a bit.
I think the part that took the longest was after my favorite Alan Menken piece ever written, the prologue music, it jumps into this, like, this like this ball that they're just watching these pointless people dance for like 15 minutes.
Mm.
And then
right.
finally the enchantress comes in and was like, "You want this rose?" And he's like, "Nah." But like it takes so it takes so long to get to that point. Like, come on. We all know what's gonna happen. Don't waste time.
Yeah.
Just do it.
There's also one thing I really want to bring up, and I don't know if you mentioned this, Bill, but they end the movie not on Beauty and the Beast. The final shot is of the opera singer and the pianist.
Yes.
That's the final shot of the movie. And it's literally a hard cut back to them for the final note, which is like 1 second, and then cut to black.
Yeah.
It's such a weird final shot that I remember when we saw it in theaters. I think I was sitting next to Mark, and he literally turned to me and was like, "That was weird." I'm like, "Yeah, it's such it's such a bizarre cut. There was no need for it." I'm like,
it's
why?
so short. It almost looks like the editor forgot to like take it out.
Yeah, it's
or put
so
in another shot.
It's such a weird final shot. I'm like, what just happened? I'm like, did I have a stroke? What's going on?
It's not even like you ended it on like another important character. You ended it on like the opera singer. Like
yeah,
it was the
dresser.
The dresser
and the piano.
Whose favorite character is the dresser?
Like, not even like a nice wide with the whole group. Not a close up on Belle and Beast. It's
yes,
the wardrobe and the piano.
Yeah,
What?
Because that's what the
So
movie
weird.
represents.
Yeah, it was so weird. I'm like, why?
But going back to a couple more points I have, I don't know if this was really that pronounced in the original 1991 version, but I don't like Belle's character in this movie.
That's a very bold and vague statement you got there.
Follow me here. So, okay, the Beast is not a nice guy in this movie. He barely says like one nice word to Belle the entire movie. And the turning point of Belle falling in love is like the Beast like scaring off the wolves. Like I don't think there's enough reason for Belle to start falling in love. And then basically like everything starts.
Yeah, at least I get what you're saying. At least in the original Beast, like tried to be nice, you know. And this one he really didn't care.
Yeah,
you're right.
The Beast in this movie just locks her up, like doesn't say anything nice. It's just like, you know, oh, trying to fall in love with you. You know?
She doesn't eat with me, then she doesn't eat at all.
No, I get what you're saying. At least in the original, the Beast had some kind of charm. Like, he was trying. This one, he was just kind of like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, and then Belle just falls in love with him. Why?
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
No, that's a good point.
That's
though.
really
I
less
never
of
really
a problem
thought
with Belle's character, and more a problem with the Beast's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No, I fault Belle.
Well, yeah, because she just kind of fall in love with him just because.
Yeah.
Because we need to progress the story.
yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
It really, like, at least in the original, I could see the progression of the relationship. In the live action, it was kind of like, flip the switch.
Yeah,
I hate you, now I'm in love with you. Like,
Exactly.
You mentioned that like after we saw it too, how you were like they just kind of flipped the switch and now they're in love.
Did I?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
well, I make an excellent point.
But yeah, man, it
And, like, none of the music really, like, stood out to me. Like, I didn't really walk away humming the music. And, like, granted, it's all music I already knew. But, like, especially the new stuff. Oh, well, I guess Evermore.
Evermore is very
I
pretty.
do like Evermore, yeah.
But, see, I'm the Broadway fan, and If I Can't Love Her is still
If
the
I Can't Love Her is
superior
so
song.
It's a much better
powerful.
song, I agree.
I will say,
I do like Evermore a lot, though.
my favorite thing about this movie is, when Belle is first walking into her new room for the first time, they play, like, a off vocal version of Home from the Broadway version. That's my favorite, like,
It's a nice
really
nod.
ever. So it's a nice little nod.
Speaking of the music, I'd like to touch on very heavily on the use of auto tuning in this in the songs,
Especially Belle's.
Yeah, Emma Watson unfortunately cannot sing, and the work that they had to do in the songs in post really shows.
It's very obvious once you know it's auto-tuned, you're like, okay,
Which was not a secret to begin with.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, it might, like, as, like, a person who isn't versed in audio, you might be able to pick up on it, but as, like, 3 audio people sitting in this podcast, it's really bad.
I picked up on it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And what was that song? It was, where it was giving some backstory to the Beast. Days in the Sun.
Days in the Sun.
That
Oh, yeah.
the little boy singing. I don't know what his name was, but that is just so auto tuned and it sounds so bad.
Is it supposed to be Chip? I can't remember.
No, it's Young
No.
Beast.
Young Beast?
Oh.
It's him watching his mom die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I completely forgot about that scene.
Yeah.
It's
It's
very
forgettable.
forgettable.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, for something like, orienting with Beast's backstory, you'd think it'd be more memorable. Like, I remember the song, obviously, but, like, I don't remember what happens
I don't even remember the
during
song.
scene.
And then it like pans to it's all the inanimate objects group dancing and singing and we
Yeah.
wish we were human again and what we would give to be
Human
one
Again's
more.
a good song.
Was Human Again in this movie?
No. I guess this was like their human again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They did cut Human Again.
Well, that's just like a general theme of this movie is just like time padding
Mhm.
and trying to add stuff in there that really doesn't deserve.
Speaking of music,
Mm-hmm.
what about all the effects they added on to the Beast's voice?
How about
Like
Oh yeah, wow.
not just
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
the auto tune, but like they literally like
they
They
kind of like
lowered it.
doubled
gruffed,
the- yeah.
gruffed his voice
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, they definitely put some effects on there. How about Gaston? I am not a fan of this version's Gaston.
I
It's
love
okay.
him. I love him.
No, not him. The song.
The song.
Oh,
The
I'm
song's
not
alright.
a fan of this version.
Really?
They changed so many of the lyrics. They drag it out for too long.
I do agree it's a little
It's
long.
so long, and they changed so many of the lyrics, and like, which I've always been against changing lyrics for remaking a song. I've always been against that.
I think some of the not the nods. I think some of the like changes are fun. Like, then I shoot from behind. Is that fair? I don't care.
Yeah, like that's all right, but like
that's fun.
I don't know. It's just something about this version. I think it's mainly just that it went on for way too long.
Yeah, I will
That's
give
my-
him
my,
that.
that's my main
And then
gripe
like
with it.
towards the end of the song, they kind of go into like that cliche like slow it down,
There's
get
a
all
dance
swingy,
sequence,
like,
yeah.
like that kind of like
The big band style.
yeah, like a big bang kind of thing towards the end that was really unnecessary because it's already like a upbeat, fast paced song, and like to just do that it felt out of place. And I'm just like,
Well, that's
the only
really-
thing holding it together was Josh Gad's performance.
It's really a theme of the whole movie is just like adding stuff in there that doesn't really belong, and I just think the movie is meh in general.
The one thing that I will say, the Gaston scene does show the relationship between Gaston and LeFou in more of a light. Because in the original, Gaston is just, LeFou is just Gaston's lackey. In this one, it shows, like, the bond they have together,
Speaking of that, I will defend the change that in the Mob song they added LeFou's verse of "Who's the true monster here."
I love
and
Yeah,
that's the best.
I
I
love
was
that
literally
LeFou
just about to
switches.
mention
That's
that.
the best
I
thing.
really like that LeFou's like, man,
He has a conscience.
Gaston's kind of a jerk.
So, Bill, is any more points to bring up so we could keep ripping on the movie, or?
The only point I'm going to make is the point of a sword through the DVD copy of this movie.
Gosh.
Tell us how
Here,
you
Bill,
really
grab your
feel. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I don't like the movie. I mean, it's okay.
It's not great,
Yeah,
but I wouldn't say it's
It's-
the worst.
It's
one.
not terrible. It's got some redeeming qualities to it.
later.
the Beauty and the Beast remake 2017. It's not terrible.
But it's not great.
That's
It's
pretty
not
much
terrible. But
That's
it's
pretty
pretty
much
bad.
what I'd like describe it as.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not terrible, but it's still pretty bad.
All right, Matthew, you are
Yes.
up with.
The Jungle Book from 2016.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
I loved this movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it since I saw the first trailer, and I saw it in theaters, and I liked the original Jungle Book, and I had only seen it like once, and it was very recently at that point in time, and I liked Jungle Book a lot. The 2016 version adds a lot to it, but I really didn't have anything negative to say about it. They made a lot of changes, but I really liked pretty much all of them.
Yep.
Um,
I have one negative thing to say.
okay.
I don't like that Mowgli stays in the jungle. Because in every single version, like even the original book and like all the cartoon versions, every version he leaves. And it was just kind of weird to me that he stayed in the jungle at the end because, again, he's never done that.
Yeah, it's a
But it's-
little. out of
That's really the
character.
only gripe I have. Like other than that, I think it's so good.
Oh,
Oh,
it's-
I actually do have one more. Only one Ka scene, and she doesn't even sing "Trust in Me" until the credits. There's only one Ka scene, and I like Ka a lot.
Right, but there are so many good things about this movie. The cast is outstanding. I don't think there's a single name in the cast aside from Mowgli, who I believe this is his first role. I have his name written down. Neil Sethi. He stole the show, by the way, for being one of 2 human actors in this movie. He did his dad.
Oh yeah.
There is a flashback scene
That's
with
right.
his dad.
Yeah, I forgot about
but
that.
being the only other human in this movie and like having no one to really act off, he did great, I think.
Yeah, I think. It was
And
really
as
good.
for like the voice cast of the CGI animals, okay, let's see.
Bill Murray as Baloo.
Bill Murray as Baloo, Ben Kingsley as Bagheera,
Yeah.
Shere Khan is voiced by Idris Elba,
Who I love.
he was also fantastic. Kaz Scarlett Johansson,
Yeah.
and who could forget Christopher Walken as King Louie?
I lost my because it was really funny because I was singing and this is singing. I was sitting in the theater with a couple of my friends watching it, and there was my friend Sarah who was with me, and she never saw the original. So when we got to the King Louis scene, and he starts talking to him, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm the king of the swingers." Yeah, and I'm like, oh, and she just goes, "Is he gonna start singing?" And I'm like, "Yes, he is." And I was so happy.
Here's the thing.
I was so happy.
In the movie, he kind of like speaks it, but in the credits,
He
the
fully
credit song, he fully sings.
Even then, in the movie, he speaks it at first, but then he goes into
he
singing
gets
it.
a little
Yeah.
singy-songy in it.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. I know that Christopher Walken has done musicals before, but I never knew that until actually recently. Like, I know, Jenny, you said he was in that Hairspray remake,
Yeah.
and he sang.
He
But,
was also in Peter Pan Live as
Oh, that's
Captain
right.
Hook.
Yeah,
Captain
I
Hook.
forgot about that.
But this was my first time hearing him sing, and he does a really good job. And also, I did not know Scarlett Johansson sings, and her version
Very
of
well at that,
her
at that too.
her song of "Trust in Me."
Yeah, I like
I almost said "Take on Me."
that.
Her song
I'd love to.
"Trust in Me"
I'd love to hear her
is
sing "Take on Me."
really pretty and really menacing.
It's also
which is
kinda
great
creepy,
for-
too.
Yeah, well,
It's-
that's the point.
Yeah.
Cause like
Snake.
enhancing you into a trance. The animals look really realistic. Which
They
I know
do.
Steve will
But
touch
not-
upon.
Not too realistic to the point where they lose all emotion.
No, I was gonna say they do emote in this movie. Like when Shere Khan comes up, you can tell all of the other animals around are threatened, and all the fight scenes I feel look
Oh,
very genuine.
the
Like
final fight between him and Mowgli, where they're fighting in the tree, and
Oh,
the
it's
tree's
so
on
good.
fire. Oh, it's so
but-
cool.
but I'm specifically talking like cat on cat.
oh
Like,
yeah.
That's how, if you watch Discovery Channel, that's how these big cats fight.
Oh yeah,
it's
it's
really
so
cool.
accurate.
I wouldn't be surprised if they like took a video capture of 2 lions or tigers fighting and just like modeled it in CG.
It wouldn't
They
surprise
probably
me. They clearly did a lot of research on this
Mhm.
when doing this movie.
Disney usually does when it comes to animals. They do a lot of.
There are some
research.
changes to the story. Like they give Mowgli more of a backstory, which Ka reveals, and
I liked it.
it's
I thought it was kind of cool.
yeah, it makes sense, and the way they show it with Ka using his backstory to hypnotize him, it
Mhm.
works because that's going to get your attention.
Yeah.
Also, what is King Louie usually like in the original Jungle Book?
Oh, he's just. I think he's an orangutan.
He is an orangutan.
Yeah.
In this movie, he is a Gigantopithecus,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
a
how-
prehistoric ape discovered in India and China. It's 10 feet tall and can be up to 1,300 pounds.
Sounds like my ex.
They also wow.
Damn!
Oh my goodness.
Wow. They also changed the lyric to
They
fit
did
that.
change the lyrics to fit.
Oh,
which
how
was,
ridiculous for
for
a
a
Gigantopithecus.
Gigantopithecus.
Like, I'm like, for a what? Excuse me?
Gigantopithecus.
Also, this is such a small little detail, but I have to point it out because I saw it immediately and I lost my mind. King Louie, as mentioned before, is voiced by Christopher Walken.
Yes.
And when Mowgli goes into his chamber, he picks up a cowbell. And I lost
Yes,
my
you're
mind.
right.
That is
Amazing.
so funny.
Also, there is one really, really big difference
Yeah.
between the original and the live action.
yeah.
Shere Khan yeets Akela off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like,
Shere Khan
straight up.
murders Akela.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when my dad saw it, he was like, oh my god, what? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in the original.
No, it does not.
he goes up to Aquila asking, "Where's Mowgli? I'm here to kill him now that the water hole truce is over."
Yeah.
And Aquila goes, "He's gone. He's going back to the man village. You lost. Game over, son." And Shere Khan's just like, "Oh, all right." And then he just picks him up by his neck
Just
and
throws
throws
him
him
off a
off the cliff.
Yeah. As sad as that is, because Akira's a good character, at the same time, I kind of like that because it really shows that Shere Khan is such like
he does not care.
He doesn't give a single crap about anyone but himself.
He'll stop at nothing to kill Mowgli.
And I really like that about him.
And I think and this is probably like the last point I have for it. I think my favorite part about the Jungle Book live action remake is that no matter how badly Mowgli wants to stay in the jungle, it shows like over the course of the movie how much he truly belongs in the man village, because he keeps using tools,
which is why it bothers me that he stays in the jungle at the end anyway.
I do agree. But you know, it just shows pretty much like it's pretty much how man evolves, you know, in the wild setting.
They definitely did a good job showcasing
I thought that was really a nice touch that they threw that in, and I think this movie is so good. I really like it. I watched it last night, and I was so happy I made that choice to watch it again.
Yeah, I need to watch it again too. Jon Favreau, man, he did a really good job with this movie.
He did, which if he got one big cat movie right, I don't know why he couldn't get another one right.
Here we go.
All right.
Let's do it.
So for those of you who don't know, and I actually, this was an incorrect statement in the very, very first episode of this show, that I stated that Zootopia was my favorite Disney movie. Upon further inspection, upon thinking about it more, no, it's Lion King. Lion King is my favorite Disney movie.
It's a classic.
Dear Lord, get ready to censor Bill. I hate the remake.
Not
I
a classic.
really hate it. Oh my god, it's so bad. Okay. And keep in mind, I was hyped for it. I was legitimately excited for it because I love Jungle Book, and knowing that it was Jon Favreau doing this one as well, I was like, oh my gosh. And my brother went to go see it opening day. Like, we went to go see it together because we were so excited for this. We gotta go see Lion King. We gotta go see Lion King. So we went to go see it. We're like, yeah, we're all excited. We sit down, and the more the movie goes on, the more drained we become, to the point where, like, the credits start rolling, and I turn to my brother, and I'm like, so that was, and he just, no BS, it sucked. I'm like, yeah, it sucked. There's so many changes, so many dumb things. But all right, let's break this down. So first of all, let's go with the cast. They got some good people in this cast. I mean, James Earl Jones came back from Mufasa. Donald Glover is Simba. Beyonce as Nala. Seth Rogen as Pumbaa.
And
Billy Eichner.
Billy Eichner as
Timon.
And I forgot his name, but Zazu. As well.
John Oliver.
Yeah, John Oliver was Zazu. But here's the issue. Every voice, or rather every take of the voice actors, feels like the first take. Like, every line feels like the very first take, and they're just like, all right, print it. Especially James Earl Jones. And I love James Earl Jones in the original. He's great. But here, he's really phoning it in. And I'm just like, do you just want to, like, pick up a paycheck and go home? Because, like, he didn't care. And like, I'm sorry, but this goes for everyone, too. Like, how do you make Donald Glover sound less interested in something than Matthew Broderick? You know? Like, oh my god.
Oh, man.
So, like, the voice actors, like, and like, these are all good actors, too, but, like, they just really phoned it in. And, like, every line delivery was so bland and like, especially the "Long Live the King" line, which is such an important line and, like, powerful line in the first movie, or the original movie, rather. And in this one, it's so lame. Like, it's really, like, just, it's such a bad delivery, and I'm like, this sucks. This is really bad. And then there's the music, which some of the songs, like, the arrangements were pretty good. But again, like, some of the vocal performances were just okay at best. Especially during, like, Hakuna Matata, for example. Like, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Seth Rogen can't sing. And, like, even like I Just Can't Wait to Be King, I thought was not as fun as the original.
Yeah.
And oh boy, they royally butchered Be Prepared. I was
I
so
wouldn't
angry.
even say they tried.
Big
No.
agree. They ruined it.
They ruined the song. And it was at that point specifically that I remember this very vividly. They started up and he starts singing, quote unquote. And I'm thinking to myself, and I hear the music in the background. I'm like, oh, this is Be Prepared. Okay. And then the scene plays out and it ends. Dead silence in the theater, and I turned to my brother. That sucked. I was ready to walk out.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm done with this. But I stayed and saw the whole thing through. I'm like, all right, maybe it'll get better from here.
Side note,
didn't.
Side note, I did not see the remake.
It's bad. Don't. Do not.
Yeah.
No, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Like,
Is it still out in theaters?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
good.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight was pretty good, I thought.
Except that it wasn't during the nighttime.
Yeah, that
That's-
too.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight was during the middle of the day.
Steve,
I'm
I
like, are
didn't
you
even
kidding?
realize
Yeah.
that.
I'm like,
That's-
are you
That's
serious?
hysterical.
It's so dumb.
Can you feel the love
today?
today?
In the afternoon.
Yeah, right? And
2
then, like,
p.m. in the
oh my
afternoon.
God. And then like there's the new song that they put in there, Spirit, which is
Did-
that,
Awful.
Did they
Oh my
really put it
God,
in
it
though? Because it's like
sucks.
30 seconds.
it
And-
sucks.
and they replaced such a good
Such
song.
a good song.
Or score, whatever.
Anytime you replace something by Hans Zimmer, I get angry. He's such a good composer.
I wanted
And-
blue spaghetti caboose.
Yeah, right? Like, goddamn. And even like the very opening shot of the movie was just, it took like a good 2 seconds for the sun to rise. And it was literally like the movie begins and I'm like, now there it is.
There.
And I'm like, because my brother's like, are they gonna do it? And I'm like, yeah, literally, I'm like, come on, what's the wait?
Like, it has to hit. Come on. Hit.
And then they, again, like what they do with Beauty and the Beast, they add so much unnecessary stuff.
oh, the
Like,
fur scene or whatever.
Wait, what?
The fur in the wind scene.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting to that. The first thing I'm going to mention is, again, right after the opening scene, which I'll be honest, I like the opening scene a lot because it was a shot-for-shot recreation.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that was the point where I'm like, it was shot for shot. I'm like, this is gonna be good. And then the next scene, we follow the mouse that Scar wants to eat for like 2 minutes,
Solid 2 minutes.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
Scar, you gonna show up? There you
They
are.
forgot to put him in the movie.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's
That's what
going
it
on?
felt like.
Yeah, and then there's the whole scene where like they added like this built up rivalry between Nala and Shenzi, which was kind of cool, but like
I didn't mind it.
really unnecessary. And then they had this whole subplot that Scar wanted Sarabi, which is incorrect. If you know the original story and what was cut from the script, Scar wanted Nala, and there's a cut song that I think they put in the Broadway
It's in the Broadway show.
Yeah.
where he wants Nala to be his queen.
He wants Nala.
So
My queen.
to make it Sarabi, I'm like, and then I might as well bring this up. The first scene. So
Tell us about it.
you know how in you've seen the original movie at least, right, Bill? I'm gonna punch you.
Bill, have you not seen Lion
Oh my-
King?
Wait,
You
did
know
we
the
watch it
story.
in Disney Club?
I don't
Probably.
think- no,
We saw
no,
Festival
we
of
watched
Lion King.
too.
I probably have seen
Alright.
it.
So in the original,
No, I did. I think we did watch it in
we've-
Disney.
no,
we've
we watched
had
Lion King
to.
2. We watched Lion King 2, not 1.
No, we did watch one at one point.
We've had to watch
I don't
one.
remember watching 1. though.
Anyways.
Anyway, so in the original movie, Simba's all upset. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm losing my way, and he like just kind of like slumps over on a cliff, and then a piece of his fur or his mane, whatever, flies off into the wind,
Right.
and then you see it fly through the wind, and immediately the next shot, it's daylight, and Rafiki grabs it. Very simple, and then Rafiki like puts it in like this. I think it was a turtle shell or something, where he like
Yeah.
mixes
Yeah.
it up with fruits, and then he
Right.
looks at it, sniffs it, and is like, Simba's alive. In this movie, they show the whole process of Simba's fur getting from him all the way to Rafiki. I'm not.
Oh,
It goes on
no.
for 5 minutes
At least.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's
the best
bad.
part.
Yeah, I'm getting there. You're gonna have to get rid of the censor, Bill.
I'm ready.
We see his fur leave him. It falls into the water where it goes down a stream. A bird picks it up, goes into a tree, drops it.
What?
A giraffe eats it, shits it out,
No, he
and then
doesn't.
there's a dung. Yes.
No.
And
Yes.
then we see a dung beetle
Rolling
rolling a ball of
What is
with Simba's
this?
hair in it, and that's the movie. A ball of with a little
You've
bit of
gotta
Simba.
be kidding me.
Yeah, I'm
movie.
not
happens.
making this up.
It
I
happens.
swear
It
to
happens.
God.
How did they greenlight this scene?
I swear to God. And then that's not even the end of it.
It
Then
keeps going.
he drops the poop ball,
And it breaks open.
and it breaks open, and then flies away in the wind where an ant grabs it,
Oh my!
climbs a tree, and then Rafiki gets it.
Why?
And I'm like, oh my! I'm literally turning to my brother. I'm like, how is this still going? We get it. Yeah, circle of life. I didn't need to see the circle of poop either. All right, Jesus. Like, oh my God, this is so. I'm like, this is awful. This is so bad.
That sounds so
And then-
unnecessary.
You know what? Something that was really cool about Rafiki was like he looked at the hair, he threw it in a bowl, mixed it up. In this, he just holds it up in the sunlight and he goes, "Oh, Simba." I'm like, how do you know it's Simba?
Ah, yes, the way the DNA reflects
yeah,
off
yeah.
the sunlight.
If you disregard the giraffe turd.
Yeah, seriously. My God. And I'm like,
Simba smells like crap.
I'm like, seriously.
needs a damn bag.
And then like, oh my God, I was so angry at that scene. I hate it so much.
Oh, I
And
think
then,
I
like,
would too.
Oh, it's awful. And then like, oh my God, I'm trying to think of some other things that were really bad. And
Like the entire movie.
yeah.
You know what other scene really dragged for me?
Huh?
Especially the second time we saw it.
Huh.
When Nala's sneaking away from Pride Rock.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That took forever.
God. There was like 3 separate times where Scar. Oh, is he gonna find her? Is he gonna? 3 times. I'm like, go, just go, continue with the story. And boy, howdy, I'm sure glad Be Prepared died for an extra 2 verses of the Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Yeah.
Glad they dragged that out.
Okay, I like the acapella version. I thought
Yeah,
that was
but
cool.
like, we lost Be Prepared for it. Let's be
No,
real.
I get it.
Hey, when it comes to songs, I'm just glad they kept Morning Report out. I don't
Oh,
like
yeah.
Morning Report. But like, oh my God. It was so like just lame and boring and no emotion at all. This is another thing I haven't mentioned. Remember how I mentioned that the animals in Jungle Book look realistic, but not to the point where they had no emotion?
Yes, I said that.
No, not in Lion King. Every single character has the exact same facial expression. When Simba's happy, he looks one way. When Simba's angry, he looks the same way. When he's sad, he looks the same way. When Mufasa dies...
Mufasa dies?
Spoilers.
You know what's really bad? I knew you were going to do that. I guess as soon as I said it, I'm like, here it comes.
We know each other too well.
When
Okay.
Mufasa dies and Simba's all sad and he's like cuddling up next to him,
There's no expression.
if there's no context, you think he's just cuddling up to his sleeping dad. Because, like,
Yeah.
there's no expression on his face. There's nothing. Everyone just looks so stoic and emotionless. And I'm like, oh my God.
Maybe everyone's like on LSD the entire
Yeah.
movie.
I've seen, like, more emotion from a drawing of Simba on a piece of paper. You know, the original movie. like jeez.
to give this movie one positive though, and I don't even think it's like the movie, it's the
Mhm.
creators of the movie. They went to Animal Kingdom and Disney World and rode the safari so many times that
Mhm.
Oh.
there's 3 lions in the Kilimanjaro safaris.
Yeah, and
the male and
Simba and Nala are based off.
yeah, and they look identical.
Yeah.
That's how realistic they look. They
Yeah.
are identical. It's kind of like if you go ride the ride, you're almost seeing the star of the movie. They put them next to each other on like screen. They are identical. So like props to the animators,
Yeah.
but you did too good of a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
And
good God, man. I
like
might get hate for this. I'm sorry. Beyonce can't act. she really just out of all and don't be wrong, all the voice actors phoned it in, but Beyonce really did.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on her performance.
Yeah. Also, like,
I liked
man,
I really
I-
liked young Simba and young Nala though. I do
Yeah,
have to
I
say
do
I
too.
liked them.
in all honesty though, like, I never thought that my favorite performance in this movie would be Seth Rogen as Pumbaa. Like
But
that.
here we are.
Here we are.
You were worried about him to
I
begin with.
was, and he ended up being the best performance in the movie. I think.
Seth Rogen is a good comedian. I like him. I
I'm
like,
gonna have to disagree with you there, Bill. I
well,
don't
I
think
mean,
he's
like,
very funny.
in the setting of like other serious actors.
Where were
But
we?
yeah, I was not expecting Seth Rogen to be my favorite performance in this movie. And that being said, I legitimately found Timon and Pumbaa a lot funnier in this version. Like they legitimately got a lot of laughs out of me, especially like there's one scene which I was upset they cut the hula dance part because that's legitimately really funny. But instead, Timon starts singing "Be Our Guest."
Yes.
Yeah,
and,
that's
it's
right.
and then they cut him off. It's legitimately got a laugh out of me. I'm like, okay, that's funny.
I feel like a lot of their lines were improv.
Yeah,
Almost.
I feel it.
I don't buy it.
Really?
No.
Like at the end of Hakuna Matata when they're going back and forth while Simba's riffing? I feel like that's improv.
maybe that part, but there's
I
a
think
lot of
they
others
were like
that I think
told
were,
to riff, but they didn't like just
Yeah.
straight up
Okay.
do it.
yeah, they're probably told do whatever.
Okay.
But when you're directed to improv, to me that's not improv.
Yeah, I
I
guess so.
suppose so. No, you're right.
But
You're right
like,
about that.
man, and
Like they
Even
literally
then-
put Robin Williams in front of a mic and said, "Go."
yeah,
That's improv.
yeah,
When they're like,
This not
"Oh,
real.
just make stuff up about it, keep going," like that's it. That's
Yeah.
directed improv.
yeah, which isn't the same.
It's not pure improv.
But even then, like, there's so many just unnecessary things. It's bland. It's boring. It's such like, in all honesty, just watch Lion King,
I
the
think-
original, because
think-
it's so unnecessary. It's not good at all. Like when my brother and I walked out of the theater, I was like, "All right, so do you think this is the worst one or Beauty and the Beast?" He goes, "Oh no, this one definitely. This one's way worse." And I'm like, "Yeah." Like Beauty and the Beast made me angry, but this just made me depressed. Like it's so bad. It's so tasteless and emotionless, and you could tell there was no love put into it at all. This movie was made solely as a cash grab,
Yeah.
and it
It's
shows. It
very
really
upsetting.
shows.
I think the creative people definitely like put their effort into it, but like
Well, as far as like making the things look realistic, yes, but when it comes to like
It's-
writing, no.
It's visually beautiful. Absolutely. But
Even then, there are some shots of Africa that look really boring.
I think it just needed a different creative. I'm talking like I've seen the movie. From what you're saying, it sounds like it needed a different creative direction. Like it was too realistic.
Yeah,
It needed that artistic
Or
touch.
here's an idea. Don't do a live action remake of something that isn't live action.
yeah.
Like there are no humans in this movie. They call it the live action Lion King. It's all CG.
He literally
It's
admitted
not-
there's one real shot. Everything else is CGI.
There's one real shot, and it's of the sky.
It's the first
Yeah.
opening shot.
Yes.
As soon as you're past the sun rising,
Everything
it's
else is
CGI.
CG.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
so don't call it a live action remake.
Thank
Jungle
you.
Book at least had Mowgli.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, because that's a live action person. This is just convincing CG that shouldn't be a thing because all the emotion comes from the animals, and when you can't make the animals emote, that makes for a boring f***ing movie.
And
I'm sorry you have to censor so much, Bill, but geez, I hate this movie.
It's okay. I've gotten used to it with you.
All right, so to wrap it up, now that we've had 2 positive reviews on our movies and 2 negatives, what are we thinking? Live action remakes, worth it? Worth the time? Should Disney stop?
Yes,
Well,
they should stop 100%.
I think in the right circumstances, live action remakes can be good, like The Jungle Book and like
Aladdin.
Aladdin. I really liked Aladdin. I don't remember The Jungle Book, but
you didn't see it.
yeah.
You did see Aladdin, though. I saw Aladdin with you.
I don't remember Jungle Book.
You
You mean
didn't.
you didn't see it? Yes.
But like, going back to what Steve said, I think it's just easier to build a live action sequel or remake, quote unquote, off already a live action world. Like
Yeah.
the Mary Poppins Returns, great movie.
Mhm.
Probably the best sequel Disney's done in the last 10 years. Easily, hands down, best. But like, building it like off Lion King, it doesn't translate well. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
tough.
Like, in all honesty, and it's, yes, sometimes you'll strike gold, like with Jungle Book or like Aladdin, but at the end of the day, these live action remakes are nothing more than a blatant cash grab.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah,
I
agree.
I think for a company like Disney that is already, I'm just gonna say it, a freaking monopoly.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
don't need blatant cash grabs because people are gonna see whatever they put out just because it's Disney.
Well, that's
So
why
there's-
they're doing it. That way they don't have
Exactly.
to put work into new
It's
stuff.
lazy. It's lazy. It takes no effort, and most of the time, it just makes people angry. So I wholeheartedly believe that. Yeah, we got some gold mine thing. We got a couple of ringers with Jungle Book and Aladdin from what I've been hearing, but it's not worth it. I'm sorry. I do not think that it's worth it for two good movies to get a bunch of other bad live action remakes. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't.
I am kind of excited for we're recording this a week before Disney Plus comes out. I don't know about you guys. I already pre-ordered Disney Plus like 3 months ago, so I'm getting it next week. I'm excited. I'm not a Lady and the Tramp fan. Like, it's not my first go-to Disney movie.
It's my
not
dad's favorite.
It's not one that I watch, like, you know, when I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put on a Disney movie, I'm gonna put on Lady and the Tramp. But that remake or the live action looks so freaking cute.
Oh, it's adorable.
And-
Well, it's just dogs. Of course, it's gonna be cute.
But
It's cute.
the thing that sells me on it, and the thing that I will guarantee, this got my support. I'm gonna watch it launch day for it to have my support. Every single one of those dogs in that movie is a rescue dog.
Yes.
It's
Oh.
so
Yeah,
cute.
I
It's
like
so
that
Every
a lot.
single one. So I don't even like whatever. I'm just gonna put it on so it has my support, and hopefully
Yeah.
more will follow in suit after that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But and even then, I like that they're all rescue dogs. I think it's really cool.
The way I see it, I don't mind the live action remakes. I don't think everything needs a live action remake. Like they were putting them out like one at a time. That was fine. But then when they started announcing them like 3 months apart from each other, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that's a little much.
And even
Right.
the upcoming ones, I'm
Like-
not too keen on.
Mulan.
Like Mulan
Like, I
looks
didn't-
bad. Mulan looks really bad.
Yeah, no interest.
And I haven't seen anything about Little Mermaid yet, so I can't make any judgment. But I'm already just like, okay, sure, we'll do another movie.
Like I didn't think Dumbo was necessary.
Oh God, I forgot about Dumbo.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There's one more that they announced that I didn't think was necessary. Honestly, probably Mulan. Just because if you're not gonna stick to the story, why bother?
At the end of the day, I just think Disney needs to stop with the whole live action thing. Just because like they're Disney, they're like creative juggernauts.
They
you
need
know?
to make more original
Yes.
movies.
Yes.
And to be fair, we are getting Onward and Soul,
Yes.
which I haven't seen anything for Soul yet, but Onward looks really fun.
I don't think anything for Soul has come out.
I don't
yet.
think
I
so,
don't
but
think so
I'm already 100% sold on Onward.
And we're getting a third one next November too. And I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, it's about that dragon.
Yes.
Yes! Oh my
I
gosh!
forgot the name
I'm-
of it. Though.
I haven't seen a single thing except for the dragon's design, and that alone sold me.
Yes, I forgot the name
love
of it.
its design.
But next year we're getting 3 new movies. So,
Yeah.
brand new movies.
That's
so.
where I think Disney excels. When it comes to remakes or even sequels, I just think they gotta stop. And to be
The-
fair, Frozen 2 looks really good.
Which we will be
We
seeing on
will,
opening
100%.
day.
Yes, we bought our tickets opening
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
The-
but I think Disney just needs to focus on original content, which is honestly what they're best at.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, so that's our opinions on the live action remakes. Let us know in the comments. What do you think's the best? What do you think's the worst? We want to hear from you. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree?
If you don't agree, you need to unsubscribe.
No,
no,
don't do that.
No, we'll just start a friendly discussion.
I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Damn.
Steve will send a mail to your house.
But so yeah,
A mail? Like
A
a
letter.
human mail?
Yeah, you.
Ding dong. Hello, sir. I'm
You're
here to
wrong.
tell you that The Lion King sucks.
so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed our discussion, and we'll see you in next week's episode.
So 10.
Woo!
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll see you at a great big beautiful tomorrow.